Hi, Connor Rules here from Bundy Domination Studios, and I'm wearing a pink shirt. Deal with it. So today I'm talking about the 5 tips for filmmaking. Why? Because I got about 10 minutes before I have to get ready for work at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't sleep. Let's go ahead and start with tip number 1. Don't rush. If you rush your filmmaking, you tend to make a few mistakes or things go bad. So when I wanted to do The Murderer, I'm all like, okay, I want it out by October 31st, which was a reasonable date, except for the fact that it was about October 15th when I set this deadline. And all of a sudden, my actors had another thing to go to and we couldn't mix things up, so they went with the other thing. And I mean, it wasn't too bad, but it sucked and I couldn't get it done. But when I was in high school, I had a filmmaking teacher. Basically, when I was making Coffee Shop Horror Story, I turned around to him and said, hey, I'm gonna be a little bit late on my deadline. He's all like, oh, that's alright, I'll still give you full points, because that happens in filmmaking. I make compromises. What I mean is, don't expect everything to be perfect. Don't expect the clouds to be in the same place. Don't expect it to be the exact same time of day. When I was making Coffee Shop Horror Story, everything went wrong in that short film. I broke my arm in the middle of filming it. It snowed in the middle of filming it. Both the cars we used in the beginning broke down at 2 different times. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the first half the car chase was shot late at night, or late in the evening, and the second half of the car chase was shot midday, middle of the day. But you didn't notice that though. So I made that compromise saying we didn't have any other time. We had to shoot that in the middle of the day. I couldn't shoot it late at night and keep the continuity looking good or easy. But a lot of people actually didn't notice that change in time of day. Number 3, plan everything ahead of time. Plan when and where people have to be in order to make your short film. If your actors don't know when something's gonna be, they might have work or something, or they might plan another something, and then you turn around and say, hey, we're filming today, and all of a sudden an actor or 2 out of 20 or 30, I don't know, you generally don't have that many actors, but yeah, one of your key actors or something can't show up because they already have something, whether it's work or going out and doing something else. They already made that engagement and they have to follow through with that engagement, and they can't just take everything off for your short film. Number 4, this is a really important one, and that's experiment. If you don't experiment with your short films, you're gonna get something like this slide, and it's just plain white and boring with a black font. Every single skit I do, I add something into it to experiment. With chunks, it was selective focus. With priorities, I was experimenting with blood and seeing what I could do with a gunshot, and like just small things to add to it. Even though those were both terrible skits, I learned something from each of them. And the last, and probably the most important tip for filmmaking, is have fun with it. That's all I can tell you guys, is have fun with your filmmaking. If you're not having fun, then you're not meant to be a director or a filmmaker or director of photography or an audio mixer. You're just not meant for it. Tune in next week when I figure something else to do, because that's how I roll. I'm tired, and I'm gonna go to work now at 4 in the frickin' morning!